A few months ago, we went in depth on a cockfighting operation in McIntosh County that shined a new light on a group of lobbyists who have been making donations at the state capitol, saying they weren't for re-legalizing or loosening Oklahoma's cockfighting laws, but they were simply respecting the raising of chickens. We're going back in depth tonight on this issue because not only have two leaders of that group been charged, the Oklahoma Ethics Commission has ordered their group to shut down for at least the next 2 years, in addition to paying a fine. The Oklahoma Gamefowl Commission has insisted for years that it is not in favor of decriminalizing cockfighting in Oklahoma, while it works to sway state lawmakers with political donations at the state capitol.
We've been battling them at the state capitol in Oklahoma City for the last 3 years.
But now two of its senior officials are facing new criminal charges in McIntosh County, accused of attending an illegal cockfighting event, something they said they detested all along.
You look at the legislation we're trying to run, it doesn't reflect that we are trying to legalize cockfighting.
We don't condone or endorse any illegal activity whatsoever. What we're about is raising, selling, and exporting these fowl for breeding purposes only.
Anthony DeVore and Blake Pierce each face one misdemeanor count of being a spectator to a cockfight in McIntosh County. In video taken undercover by the group Animal Wellness Action, the men are seen not just observing but also participating in an illegal cockfighting event in a rural part of McIntosh County earlier this year.
Caught ringside at a cockfighting derby with a white piece of paper with his entry number on his back. Entry numbers are for people who enter their birds.
On top of criminal charges, the Oklahoma Ethics Commission fined the Gamefowl Commission $10,000 and ordered them to cease operations as a political action committee for the next 2 years. The Ethics Commission says the Oklahoma Gamefowl Commission violated state campaign finance laws repeatedly, including spending money outside of the PAC's purpose and not reporting donations and spending properly. The commission said in a statement about the findings they were, quote, blatant breaches of the law that undermine public trust in the fairness of Oklahoma elections.
This is appropriate and proportional action by the Oklahoma Ethics Commission.
The group briefly posted on social media that while it could not operate as a PAC, they were still somehow planning to continue their lobbying efforts for their cause at the Capitol even during the suspension. However, the statement was then removed from social media after being up just a short time. Numbers Fox 23 previously used to contact DeVore and Pierce are now disconnected. Something to keep in mind, there is a separate Department of Human Services investigation into this case because children were also on site during the McIntosh County cockfight earlier this year. You may remember this video from our previous coverage. Animal Wellness Action caught on camera children playing with the very injured and even dead carcasses of the roosters that were done fighting. Many of the roosters were thrown in a trailer and disposed of like trash, and then the children brought to the operation played with the bodies while their parents or guardians were elsewhere. DHS was notified, but DHS says it will not comment on specific cases for the privacy of the families involved. Cockfighting has been illegal in Oklahoma for more than 2 decades, but illegal events still happen quietly on rural farms and ranches throughout eastern and southeastern Oklahoma. In November of 2002, 56% of all Oklahoma voters participating voted to put into state statutes a ban on cockfighting. This was State Question 687. It was not a constitutional amendment, but a citizen-level change in state law. Many activities related to cockfighting are now felonies and still are. In order to loosen cockfighting laws in any way, it would once again have to go to a vote of the people. The legislature cannot do it alone. While it was heavily active at the state capitol, a bill supported by the Oklahoma Gamefowl Commission was moving through the legislature during the 2023 legislative session.
We've had many laws like heroin, fentanyl reduced to a misdemeanor. And so what we're trying to do is just get fairness and create fairness in punishment. And again, when we're looking at 800 people died from fentanyl and not one person died from chickens, I think it's pretty clear.
The proposal passed out of a state house committee, but it later died. It would have asked Oklahomans to take a revote and allow cockfighting to be re-legalized county by county instead of there being a blanket statewide policy. The vote also would have made many things that are now felonies misdemeanors. The hope was in counties with big cities it would have been illegal, but in more rural counties, cockfighting would not be as heavy-handed in its enforcement, where it's considered to be more socially acceptable still to this day. Now again, the bill failed and never became law, and you and I were never asked to vote on this. The Oklahoma Gamefowl Commission has made donations to both Democrats and Republicans in the past. Campaign donations averaged between $500 to $2,000 during just the 2022 election cycle. Some of those candidates refunded the money once they realized who actually made the donation. Others have not gotten back to us yet, as if they kept the money, refunded it later, and it didn't show up on campaign finance reports, or if they donated that money to charity after the fact. We will keep pushing for responses from the ones still in office. Others have already left office, and getting in touch with them has been a bit harder. The commission did not file anything that shows they've donated anything since 2023, but keep in mind they were just found guilty of campaign finance violations by the Oklahoma Ethics Commission. The Oklahoma Gamefowl Commission actually refunded some of their donor money back in 2023. And we should note, cockfighting is still illegal in all 50 states.